Hello and welcome back to the game. I'm just gonna let you know that it may look like they're speaking, maybe even look like Ollie's grumping, but you can't hear it because he's not. He's just telling me he loves me. That's all it is. Right, Ollie? You love me? See? He's just saying, I love you.
And then you dub it over. like when you make a cat say it.
I just watched, not to like super derail here. I just watched more or less a poor lip reading of Trump singing at the event, and it was because he didn't know more than half the words, so it was just funny because it was funny.
Let's be honest, no one knows any of the words to the national anthems, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you know the words. It matters if you act like it's the most important thing in the world, but don't know it yourself, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, that can. Clearly, we know that the person singing it's the most important person in the world.
So, anyways, you
Let's get away from that.
Yeah, toxic. So 7 minutes pass of pleasant conversation with one another. Or maybe it was 15 minutes. There was a hiccup in the program.
It feels like ages.
I don't know what happened. But my coffee's yummy, so call that a win. So you guys, wait. Sorry, the time passes. The program comes up online, and all of a sudden, all the data is available for reading. And so, because of the program that they use to pull the data, it doesn't just pull it; it also parses it and makes it so it's like does quick reports of it. So there's like summaries and whatnot that happen. This is why it is that you're flying a science vessel and you have to go to an actual science facility to have it ported there. It makes all of this work better. It's terabytes upon terabytes of information, probably even bigger unit than that, that gets parsed through almost immediately. So you when the information comes up and the summary comes up, she starts looking it over and she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, this is this looks as though when you were trying to scan the particle that it looks as though when you were trying to scan the particle that it seemed to have broken apart.
It didn't like being watched.
That's strange indeed. We use frequencies. We use different types of waves to interact with scanning devices to pick up the various things that we're detecting, whether it be throwing things at them and seeing how it bounces off, or just detecting what it is that's been sent our direction from the items that we're scanning. The fact that this would cause a breakup is very strange indeed. I'm actually going to have to spend a considerable amount of time to look things over and see what it is that I can discover. Do you think perhaps we can meet for lunch? It's in about an hour and a half from now.
You have all the time in the world.
Then feel free to wander about the facility and see if you can make yourself at home. 1 second. And she actually quickly in her computer and throws over to you guys. So all of your Omni tools, except for you, Icolas, all of your Omni tools have like a little green tag in the top right-hand corner of the Omni tool that you can clearly tell is some sort of a pass. And she says, this is a scientist pass. This allows you to get through pretty much any facility that meets the security clearance that you guys have. This, of course, is slow security clearance, but it does give you free reign of the facility. So please, if you'd like to go ahead and make your way about, I'm sure you can find something that you find interesting. I'll meet with you in about an hour and a half's time. And she more or less dismisses you guys from there.
Carmine's going to spend the entire hour and a half just walking around with the Dandy Warhols playing the, oh yeah, I'm a scientist.
Interesting. Does anybody else want to do anything else? Look at different facilities, different types of research, gift shop.
Does this super secret science lab have a gift shop?
You know what? It just might.
It can.
It just
You know
might.
what? We could find stickers for Icolas.
Yeah!
Oh!
So let's do that.
I need
But on
stickers.
which body are they going to go?
This one, because this is the one that's been here, technically.
It's I walked the what is it? I walked the oceanic floor of Sirkesh, and all I got was this stupid sticker.
Yeah!
So do they have stickers or like magnets?
Yeah, I imagine
I
they
would
do.
not. Magnets, maybe not the best idea.
No. I imagine that they would. Yes, they would have stickers because, of course, being an aquatic race, they have lots of different types of adhesions. But they would also have magnets, including magnets that are computer safe. They would actually stick to the metal, but it would be a hard stick to the metal without affecting any of the.
I'm a
circuitry underneath.
sticker man.
Are you? That doesn't
So
surprise me.
We'll find him some stickers.
Find them some
Yeah,
stickers.
some
Okay.
Cirkesh
Yeah.
stickers.
So you guys go out and you find some stickers for him. I imagine some of the stickers are literally like, because it's a facility, and so there's like the human mindset of we like to take pride in where it is that we work. So it's literally a sticker of like the facility itself, or things like that happen to be there. Local sports team. They have this one sport that they're really into. It's very similar. It's like a water polo, which honestly I imagine
Those
Carmine,
poor horses.
I imagine Carmine thinks is dumb, because what American likes water polo? So you guys,
Scottish.
what was that?
He's Scottish.
That's right. You're Scottish. You probably love it. You probably stand there by a boob tube and watch it and cheer on whatever the local team is.
What?
Boob tube is the old reference for television.
Just smile
A
and
boob
wave,
tube is a
boys.
type of weird shirt.
That's weird.
In
Because-
the UK, they're like the ones that just do that and nothing else. That's a boob tube.
Top.
we have tube top.
Boob tube.
So boob tube
A
is
little more descriptive.
because there used to be tubes. I don't know where the boob.
Language of love.
But, you
Yeah.
guys gotta check out gift shop. So you guys go and you pick up some stuff. I imagine there's nothing of great significance that you're looking to purchase here. Any weapon upgrades? Because I think y'all Poe, right?
Yeah, we've not been given money for a long time.
Broke.
It's the way I like it.
we're just bumming around getting other people to upgrade our ship and restock it and refuel it and things. Oh, by the way, are they going to refuel our ship while we're here? That would be nice of them.
Oh, yeah, sure. It was refueled before you got here, and it was only 2 jumps to get here, right? Or was it 1 jump to get here?
Are they going to refuel our ship though?
We'll find out about that.
Just
later.
top us up.
We'll find out about that later. So, an hour and a half passes where you guys kind of meander out the facility, get it more, blah, 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 get your stickers. Do you put your stickers on yourself before you go meet with LePip again?
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's one of those, as you guys are walking in, she's actively, when you go walking back in to meet with her.
Can we
lunch.
just get a reaction of like Aglas's reaction when we hand him the stickers? Because I would
Oh.
like to know that.
You know what, please?
It's a good one because he's trying not to be expressive.
Oh.
This will be very useful so that you can tell me apart from other maintenance frames that you may meet on our journeys underwater and in space.
Carmen gives you a stare.
He looks away again and then like puts a sticker on his arm.
It's funny because this is the most expressive body you've had so far. But
Exactly.
So, anyways, it was 1 jump. So out of your 7 fuel, you currently have 6. So, anyways, when you go meet up with her again, it's not back at her office. It's actually at a more or less you're meeting with her in a place for you guys to eat. When you finally go to the place that was suggested for you guys to meet with her again, you notice that it is a type of almost like cafeteria. Restaurant or whatever that exists within the facility, but more than that, there's actually like back rooms where people can have like private meetings while enjoying a meal, and that's where you're gonna go. And what's really cool about that is that these back rooms are very similar to the like the situation room that you guys have on your ship itself, where the table that you guys put your food on and whatnot has its own display there. The walls around you have the displays, so you can have a full-blown meeting while still enjoying some sushi. I'm just kidding. That would be monstrous. They eat like a lot of kelp. So you guys are there enjoying your salad when having the conversation with her. When you guys go walking into the room, immediately she's like kind of engrossed into the research that she's doing. When she turns around, she's like, "Oh, I almost forgot about the top." Stops and stares at Icarus for a while. Like a solid 3 seconds of silence.
This seems like a nice place. If I could smell, I'm sure it smells pleasant.
She looks at the other 2 of you.
I'm just straight faced.
Carmen just sort of shrugs. Like, ah.
Rick, you're getting quieter and quieter. You're getting more and more into the distance,
Oh, is it?
into the void.
Let me check.
Is it because we're underwater?
You need our Rickles. Why did I cover my mouth? Like it just got.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
My microphone was like, hey, let's go to 79% volume. That's great.
That's weird.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, can you at least go to 69% so we can all appreciate it a little bit more? It is the internet. We're all childish. So
So just totally straight face. I'll just be like, we like the stickers.
she nods and then says, I've been spending a considerable amount of time going over the research here. And then she finally pulls her eyes away from Icarus and the stickers on him and says, please, if you'd like to have a seat and enjoy your meal, I'd like to go over the details that I've discovered.
Nicholas goes to sit and then realizes and doesn't that he shouldn't.
So
You get a stare.
He makes it look as if he's just pulling out the chair for one of the other two.
He stares slightly longer than last time. And then goes to sit down.
She jumps right into explaining. She says, long ago, there was a lot of research that came to the conclusion that if one had the ability to do so, if one could actually come up with machinery that had the ability to do so, one could actually turn light into matter. And then that matter itself could be converted back into light if needed be. It is a very difficult process, something that we've never been able to master, to be able to control. And so it's something we've kind of thrown to the side long ago. I honestly don't think that there are any races amongst the Citadel peoples that are continuing to do with this research, because it's something that we don't believe can actually be done within a few lifetimes. Perhaps a few small factions here and there that are continuing with it, but nobody that's really done any of the great leaps or bounds from what has been discovered long ago. From that idea, however, it seems as though what it is that you've done here, what it is that this particle that you've been able to discover, this particle that you've been doing this research on, it seems as though it has the ability to be manipulated by, well, waves, by light. And when it broke apart, it actually broke apart into waves or light itself. See this over here. And she kind of pulls up a display and shows more or less lots of math that just makes the two of you go, this is delicious kelp. And Icarus is staring at going, well, that's interesting, because you can actually read what it is that it says. Even if you don't fully understand the science behind it, you understand the basic theory of what all of this math is describing to you.
I know some of those numbers.
And so as she shows this to you, looks to you guys, and Icarus is probably nodding while the other two are like, nice, yes, we're nodding as well. She continues saying, but the problem is that the research that you have here is not complete. We haven't been able to fully discover where it is that this has come from. Where was it this was created? We're missing the key ingredients of how it is that this was created, where it was created, so on and so forth. And unfortunately, I actually believe I know what it is that you need to do and where it is that you need to go to finish discovering the rest of the details, the missing links to the final discovery of this, or at least continuing us on this path. Who knows? Every time you discover one thing, there seems to be another thing that pops up. Let me please digress. I think I know where you need to go to discover what it is that we need to discover. We need to go to a planet wherein the materials there are just ripe for what it is that we need. However, and with this, she actually presses a button, and Icarus, everything gets strange for you.
Is that meant to be static? Because it sounds like you're a cat throwing up.
That's exactly what it sounds like to you, almost like a cat throwing up. It's actually a distracting and painful noise that makes it so that you can't even hear what she's saying. However, the other two can hear perfectly fine. All you got was for half a second, you got one of those high-pitched whirring noises that you sometimes hear when a TV turns on or you're standing next to the refrigeration area in a grocery store. But then that kind of fades away into the back of your mind, so you don't hear it anymore and you almost forget that you heard it in the first place. She says, where it is that you need to go is highly illegal. It's a place that you're not allowed to go to because it is extremely sacred to my people.
This happened to be anywhere near the I recall the planet that's very sacred to them, right?
Correct.
I don't know the name of it, but
Isn't it like a moon?
Might
think there's something else.
It is a planet. I'm an idiot and can't remember the name of the planet because I'm a big old dummy and I'm trying to get
well,
it for
if
you
you
right
can't
now.
remember it, you can't fault me for not remembering it.
I don't blame you for not remembering it at all.
The moon of Trilon is what I remember.
I have to, of course, find it again because I'm terrible at remembering things.
Carmine mentions that planet.
Of course.
Because we did the scanning and stuff.
And she slowly nods as you say it. Where's that nebula? It's just kind of lingering right there right now. She hasn't said anything else yet.
We're all kind of taking in the gravitas of the moment.
Icarus kind of looks.
Icarus is confused and trying to
His-
take
his-
in what's going on.
His head's a little tilted to the side, and like his fists are clenched.
Yeah, he's just.
Or
He's trying to find the puking cat. It's not working.
he's not like actively acting out as much as maybe he normally would have.
Traylon in the Horsehead Nebula around the
Traylon.
star Strenuous.
Told you.
You know, you did get it,
I
thank you,
knew it.
Ollie. Even though you can't hear, you did get it.
Ollie knows. Icarus doesn't.
Of course.
But Icarus would know about this because this is an internet thing in the extranet thing in the.
Of course. So,
Mass Effect.
you guys, like you said, taking the gravitas of the moment, and she says, "You were not allowed to go there. You were not allowed to land there. It is very frowned upon amongst my people. It's something that even the Citadel has agreed to keep other races off of it, even though it's something that's significant to us. It's let's just be plain and simple here. The Citadel is 1/3 controlled by the Solarians, and the Solarians have used their pull to make sure that others can't land on there. So, should you choose to land on there, you'll have to do so illegally."
Well, it's a good thing we have an illegal criminal pilot.
That is a good thing. But it goes one step beyond that. There are many satellites that float around that planet that will, of course, attempt to detect your entry and attempt to shoot you out of the sky. So you're going to have to go in without them noticing you. You're going to have to go in going blind. There are ways, of course, to do this. Turning off your own sensors will make it harder for them to detect yours. There are a few other techniques that you can use as well. But it then goes even beyond that. Where is it that you can actually land? Where is it that you can actually safely land? There is a location that I know of that you can potentially land on. However, it is the most well-guarded spot on the planet. It is where a temple has been built long, long, long ago.
Right. So how do we do this then?
You need landing codes. Unless you're going to go in guns blazing, shooting the satellites out of the sky and forcing a landing and trying to accomplish everything before others show up, which, assuming that you can't be detected who you are, you then just need to get out of there. If you do detect who you are then going to be criminals across the entire Citadel. You need landing codes. Landing codes that, of course, do exist within the Solarian government.
Right. Well, let's face it. Our glorious ship is not able to break and enter, so we're going to have to go the subtle route.
Those landing codes, they exist on this base.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. Where are they kept?
Unfortunately, being somebody who is deeply religious myself and understand the significance of this, please don't question it. There are reasons in my mind why all of this is linking, and I don't want to bore you with the details. I'm sure you have your own faiths. I have them. And she taps like the top of the console to her computer in front of her.
Okay.
But I cannot give them to you.
Okay.
I can give them to one person.
Your son?
Correct.
Okay.
But, as is strict law for the Solarian government, it is not something that I can just impart upon him. It has to be somebody who is a little bit more traditional than he is. He is currently somebody who is greatly breaking tradition, and so therefore cannot receive these. They cannot be gifted to him. They cannot be entrusted to him because he is breaking of certain traditions that would allow him to be trusted with these this information. The fact
So
is,
you need your son
I
to
can
get,
see where you're coming from with that, yes.
so you need your son to get married.
yes.
Oh, I knew it.
It is the only option that we can go about this in the most legal way possible. He would be legally able to acquire the codes, and he would legally be able to use the codes, even though he is still an outlaw in certain reaches. He would be able to legally do all of these things, allowing you to get in, get out, and get the
Would it be
information.
possible for us to bring your son into this room for this conversation?
Of course it is, absolutely.
Okay.
We can bring him in, but I can already tell you what his answer is going to be.
I already know what the answer is going to be, and no matter what it is that I say to him, he's not going to agree to the terms. There is another option as well. My office could be burgled.
Okay.
That just makes you a criminal to the Solarians.
Glorious. So we're either going to have to be bridesmaids or wanted criminals.
I'm not sure what this bridesmaid thing is. Is this a
It's
positive
a
thing?
human tradition thing.
Well, at the very least, let us bring your son to you.
No matter what I say to him, he's not going to listen to me.
Maybe it's because you have that attitude that this is never gonna work.
I will try to be more positive. These are the options that I have before you. If you can come up with something else, I'd be more than happy to take another suggestion. I do not wish to force this upon my son. Would you like to roll a perception charisma check?
Yeah. Just for that 1 in a million chance of not rolling terrible.
She wishes to force this upon her son.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't need to roll to figure that out. Yeah.
Then, unless you're able to come up with a different plan, this is the these are 3 options, the ones that I can put before you, and hopefully we can make one of those. Hopefully, we make one of those work. In the meanwhile, I have something else that I'm working on. It means that you don't have to directly come back to the station before. Wait to transmit the data because it'll be a smaller amount, at least to a degree between then and now. I'm going to continue working on that and the retrofitting of your ship to allow that to happen right now. In the meanwhile, why don't you please go and meet with my son?
Very well.
Okay.
Turn and leave.
And you guys are able to head straight back to the ship.
On our way back.
Before you go ahead.
Like, I assume like Carmine and I like chat about this.
Please go ahead. Icarus, as before you guys leave, is one of those, she presses the thing, the sound goes away, you can start hearing, and she says, why don't you guys head back to your ship to speak with my son? And you can actually hear that.
Like he doesn't say anything. He's just confused, but is pretending kind of that he's being obedient.
You guys walk back, and Constantinia?
Well, it's worth an effort at the very least.
What is?
We're gonna talk JJ into marriage. We're gonna be matchmakers.
We're going to try.
It's not gonna work, but you know.
No, but I'd rather not break in if I don't have to.
Same.
This entire science facility is networked. I don't know why you want to break into something, but you are probably thinking about it in a very organic and physical way, where everything is digital. Operating in a digital network to do whatever it is you want to do is probably easier. I don't know what you're talking about. So
If we can do it remotely, then yes, that would be preferable, but
I
I'm not
don't think
sure
it's
how possible.
best to discuss the reasons why. And he looks around. In here.
Okay. And so you guys finish making your way back to your vessel. You go over back to the big dome area, and you step through into water. You swim up to your ship. You get inside the airlock. The door shuts. The water starts
you
draining
fall
out.
on your face.
The gravity flips. But again, it does sound like
Magnetic
it's
boots,
instant.
it's fine.
It's not an instant thing where all of a sudden
I want it to be though.
it's a transition of gravity where you have like this, it's like a 6-second thing where there's even this moment where you're completely weightless. And some of you guys gracefully, some of you guys gracelessly. I imagine Icarus just puts on mag boots and goes.
I am the mag boots.
And turns on, activates the mag boots. And the door opens up and you guys are back on normal gravity in your ship with the normal atmosphere. Okay. You can, of course, continue your conversation in here. You can do it in the situation room without the pilot if you'd like. Winnie is also on the ship as a reminder. She can also join in if need be. You don't have to invite her.
I imagine we just fill Icarus in, like, in the most
Yeah.
direct way possible.
She had electronic countermeasures. I couldn't hear anything, which is worrying.
That's because the Solarians wouldn't be happy with some of the things mentioned there.
Sorry. Go
Well-
to the chapel and we're gonna get married.
Well, I was going to say some important stuff, but now the moment's ruined, so I won't.
Sorry, I forgot that song existed, and it just made me very happy.
I think everyone else had as well.
Yeah, you're welcome. Midori. Go ahead, Ollie.
Do we know?
No,
if
it's. I said the moment's ruined.
Nope. Get back to the important thing.
No.
Somebody throwing that ball again. Pitch it.
And while we're filling Eichlison and all of it, I'm gonna say that we'll have everybody there. Why not? Violet will be
yeah,
there.
sure.
Okay, sure. So,
Winnie will be there.
Winnie comes in and sits
Crew
down,
party.
very prompt.
Like here is the situation.
The
We
pilot,
are in the situation room after all.
the pilot's listening to this, and he's like, no.
You only had to say no once.
no.
It's kind of obtuse at this point.
Do we know if it has to be a Solarian that he marries to or not?
It's traditional, so yes. That's the entire point of it.
I don't even know what else I could marry. I mean, I suppose an Asari. I mean, I have seen a couple of very sexy Asari, but no. Listen, you saved my skin. I think you're the ones that put me in danger, but you're the ones that saved me, right? So
Arya's the one that put you in danger because of your own actions.
So, you saved me so that I could bring you here. I brought you here. I completely understand if part of this deal also means I need to take you back. I'm signed on completely for taking you back. That's not an issue whatsoever. However, I don't really care about your cause. What is your cause?
Apparently
We're trying-
turning light into matter.
I don't even know what that means.
You take light, and he lights up like a little flashlight in his hand. You turn it into matter, like you. And you're made of it.
Winnie will actually pull up schematics of an old Quarian attempt to do this thing in the past, just like something that she would have researched when she was in schooling as a child on the flotilla. But again, it's one of those it's darted hopes and dreams. You guys can imagine humans are still trying to do this because they're relentless and
It's like the
Alchemy!
It's like the project in the 70s to build a spaceship that launched via tiny nuclear explosions.
Oh, Project Orion?
It's called Project Daedalus.
Oh. Thought it was Orion.
So there might be another. We like nukes, so there might be another one of a very similar idea.
It very well could be.
But the reason why Project Daedalus didn't work is the planet they were going to go to doesn't exist. They realized it was just a smudge on a telescope, which is very, very science.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Project Orion is also nuclear propulsion. We like our nukes!
Well, to be fair though,
Humans!
the ship you guys are in right now in the sci-fi thing is also nukes. It's propulsed by nukes. You use helium-3.
We did it, Reddit!
It's not necessarily nukes.
It's still nuclear power. It's just not radioactive. You
Hey,
still
there's a difference
splice
between
it.
There's a difference between nuclear power and nuclear explosion.
But that isn't that. Oh, okay, fair.
No.
Project Orion is literally
you are
let's
right
toss
in
a nuke
every
out
way.
there,
No, you are right.
detonate it, and use that as propulsion.
Yeah, no, you are correct.
That's a bit different.
You're talking about directed detonation as opposed to generation of energy. You are 100% correct. I rescind. Delete this part of the VOD. Don't worry. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
You don't have the time or effort to do that.
I don't.
If you're watching this on a VOD, screw you.
Should have caught it live.
I'm gonna get
Yeah.
so many pings on Twitch. Such and such left a message on a VOD. Such and it's all gonna be screw you, Ollie.
Oh, I get those pings too.
I get them for like 5 or 6 different channels.
Right? On a channel that you moderate, right? It's like oh no. All right. So anyways,
Rip.
for the record, I don't ever check those.
So why can't you
I
at
do.
least
The
talk to your
moderated
mother?
ones.
So why can't you at least talk to your mother? It's been what, like a decade at this point?
Could I speak to my mother? Absolutely. We have no problem speaking to my mother. I'm sure there's lots of wonderful things that we can make. We can go over.
Excellent. Let's go.
That's it.
You did say, but you were
Yeah.
you could.
You did agree. Let's go.
He's
I
heard
opened the
the one.
door.
today.
Yeah,
Yep.
right now.
He looks around to like anybody for support. Looks to Winnie. Winnie's just kind of like,
Family reunion time.
she's like, I don't speak to my parents. And he's like, see, like
You just said you could speak to her. So let's go.
Winnie shrugs and he like gets up all dejected and follows after you guys.
Well, I like talking to my mother.
Aw.
When
Aw.
when you guys go over, Winnie gives him a big hug. Oh, I like the stickers. They look great. Actually, hold on, I got another one for you. Runs over and pulls out another one.
More stickers.
Yeah.
Oh, Eiklas really is a toddler.
It's actually the stickers is like, you know, the two hands side by side with the, you know, the rest, and it's actually the Quarian flag. Love the Quarian. Yeah.
Speaking of toddlers, there was one outside during the break. I'm not sure if it was getting murdered or was made to do the slightest thing they didn't agree with, because there was so much yelling, and I
So
still don't
funny
know
to me.
which.
I love it when like Aurora just like throws herself on the ground, like just so dramatic.
Oh, Rory, like she, of course, all children has meltdown.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
children have meltdown. There's no, it's a child. They're learning that life is awful.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like God, I'm so glad. Like I've spent time with other kids, and I'm like, they do it every 5 fucking seconds. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that often.
Yeah, no, Ray doesn't do it very often, but it's hilarious.
I actually allow it to a degree at home, because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ignore you. You're at home. You're having a meltdown. When we're in public, I scoop her up and walk away. I can't stand that shit.
Scoop.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Scoop the baby.
I do exactly what my parents did to me. Bring her to the car. Is this how we behave in public? We do not behave this way in public. Sit in the car. I don't care if it's the summertime. We're both uncomfortably warm. We're gonna sit
Oh,
here
that
in the
explains some
I-
things.
I used to try to run away like all the time when I was Rory's age.
Car. Did you have a leash?
I did not have a leash. I probably could have benefited from one. There was one time.
It was a retractable leash.
Yeah, right? Where we were actually like in like the pediatrician like getting shots, and I ran away and I made it out to the car before I was stopped.
I won't lie. Like, so again, Rory doesn't run, which is a good thing. Luckily, she's not a runner. She generally sticks around, which so doesn't my dog. So, I don't know. It's a little weird. But anyways, when I'm in a place that, like, let's say a grocery store, and I see like there's clearly a runner child that the parent chose to like take out of the even though they're a runner child, and they go towards like automatic doors, I'm always like, you know, like
You're a fucking ring wraith?
yes,
Okay.
yes, of course.
I wasn't paying attention, but that stormed me back into the conversation.
Like, children
thought
don't care.
you were gonna make it so I could never finally find peace on Valinor, you know?
All right, moving on. And by the way, it's Arenal, not Valinor. Moving on.
No, I was talking about Lord of the Rings.
No, Valinor is Eberron. It's where your offshoot cousin.
What? Where's
ancestor-
the islands the elves go to?
Arenal.
No, in
No.
Lord of the Rings, you
Fine,
numbnut.
fine. Then Felanon or whatever it's called, the Blood Sales Island.
What are you on about?
It is Valinor, which I always thought was funny because Valinor is an Eberron. So, moving on. So we know which one came first. It was clearly Eberron. So you guys are making your way. You start making your way out. When you guys see the doors open and close and do all that fun stuff, you actually see that he does something slightly different than what you guys are doing, which is just kind of hoping. He actually goes straight over to the door where the water comes in and places his hand on the door. And so as the transition happens between the two things, you actually see as he places his hand on the wall, he actually can almost feel the shift of the gravity and everything happening slightly faster than you guys can. And so he reacts to it a lot more smoothly than you guys do. He has significantly more grace, not because Solarians are more graceful. They're not. Not that this guy's more graceful. He's not. It's literally just the method, the trained method that he uses to allow it to happen. So it's one of those like, I wonder if I should try that. Whoosh, travel all the way down. You meet with her. You get all the way in there. As you guys go walking into the room, door opens up. Who goes in first?
We push him in first.
Oh,
I
yeah.
push.
We push him in, close the door, like, you're not coming out until you resolve this.
That's literally the one thing I was like, well, they're not going to do that. They do that. So the door opens up. He's like, ugh. Do you literally shut the door behind him, or do you go in behind
I
him?
don't shut
I
the
think
door
it's a good
behind
idea,
you.
actually.
It's a good idea, but I think we shouldn't do that.
I don't think Karma would be that rude. He's gonna stand near the door, but he's not gonna shut it.
So let's see how this plays out, because it's a mix between party decisions. Who shoves him in?
Me.
So Icarus shoves him in, contemplates for a second, and then starts to walk in. And of course, Carmine starts to like move forward right behind him too. Constantinia, what do? Do you stop them?
If they walk into the door, like I'll maybe we should let them have a moment, guys.
But I want to see what happens.
You can see the aftermath.
I can see the now math.
There's literally math on the walls.
I will wait if you wish me to wait. I exist to accept commands.
Good. I push the button.
Carmine jumps in as the door closes. He goes, Jerry.
No, if they make a concerted effort to stay outside, I will also stay outside.
Okay.
This sounds like more of a Maury thing anyway.
But this might have fistfights, you know? I don't know if Maury
The
does.
Solarians.
Yeah.
Love slap
The
fights.
flipper fights.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys allow the doors to shut. Because you're being nosy, do you like tap in and listen in there, Ollie?
No, I'm behaving, and also it means you don't have to go through the effort of conversating as both of them.
I wouldn't.
I love when we make Scott do that.
I would have just summed it up. So you shut the doors behind them. A full half hour passes, which is a very, very, very long conversation for Solarians. A full half hour passes before the door opens up. And he's standing there with his arms crossed as the door opens up, facing towards you guys. Clearly, he's looking to head out of the room.
I don't think we're blocking the door
Okay.
in any way.
He goes walking out of the room.
I'm gonna like grab him, like push him back. It's like, all right, well, if you can't come to a decision, then we have to plan it biggerly. So get back in there.
So you
And
push
like I'll
him back,
follow him.
and you guys go walking in. You go to shut the door.
He can't even make a dramatic exit.
Oh.
You guys go walking in behind him and shut the door.
He can't even tantrum.
It's hard to tell because it's so moist everywhere in here, but you're pretty sure they were crying. You're pretty sure
Aw.
there was a lot of tears that had happened between the two of them.
Aww.
When it's all done, so when you guys go in and shut the door, he says, I find this absolutely ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous of things. And she's like, don't you understand? Not only would you be making one of the greatest discoveries that we could ever have done in the entire history of the Solarian people, something we've been working on for literally thousands and thousands and thousands of years, since before we even joined the Citadel, before we even discovered the Citadel and joined with the Asarian and pathed forward all the wonderful discoveries that we've done over the course of these thousands of years. Not only would you be a key part of that, but you'd also finally be able to make a family. How is this so difficult for you to want to do? He doesn't say anything.
So, how are we gonna break in to steal these codes?
You say, how are we going to break in to steal these codes?
Mm-hmm.
And she sits back and she's like, I cannot believe that you're not willing to settle down with a nice girl, get married, and have your own children, and to be a part of history. Don't you want to be a part of history? And he doesn't say anything. Finally, like, allow a couple seconds to pass. I imagine you never broke your eyes from her and the question that you asked. You're not really one to repeat yourself. She finally looks to you and says,
I am going to use my authority focus. I can make a request from an NPC who is not openly hostile, making a charisma command check at the difficulty of the NPC's morale score. If I succeed, they will comply. And I will say...
Hold on, don't forget Party Pool of Luck in case you cared to use it.
I will.
Do
I
it.
have no idea how many we have.
You got +2.
I'm just trying to think of what I'm going to say.
While you're thinking...
I imagine Icarus is walking up to him and he's going,
I think
let's
you're
get
free.
you married now.
You had 3. This is going to bring you down to 2, okay, Ollie?
Do it.
Mm.
Because it would be fucking hilarious.
I'm just trying to think of what to say. usually is no difficulty for me. Usually I can just shit out my mouth and something works. It's how it works.
I
I've
mean,
been hanging around with Neil for so long.
that's only you after you lube up the turkey and take it in the other way.
What?
Now I'm confused.
I don't want to know.
This,
I just go up to him
South Park? No.
and okay, yeah, sure. Reference one South Park episode a long time ago. It's something I would do. And just says, "You will do this for the future." And it's a big number.
It is a big number.
I would say for our future.
For our future. He lets out an exasperated sigh. He's like, you know what the issue is? I'll tell you exactly what the issue is. I've already married. But
I look to see if he has a ring.
Solarian's been
Even if
acting.
Solarians don't use rings,
Yep.
I
Says-
do look down at his hands.
I want to inside him with perception charisma if that's possible.
You go right ahead.
That's funny.
Just for the sake of it.
Okay.
We must
You
be
believe
wrong.
he's telling the truth. So he says, I've already married. As a matter of fact, do you know what it is, Mother? Do you know why it is I originally had to turn to crime? Because the reason why I married, the reason why I've been doing all this stuff, the reason why I've been doing these criminal activities is because I've been trying to generate enough money. Enough money to get him out of prison because he was wrongfully put into prison. That's why I do not want to settle down and marry a young girl. Because of the fact that I am, in fact, already very happily married, and I've been doing everything I can to try to get him out of prison because he was wrongfully accused for certain things that he had done beforehand. Funny enough, the thing that we were doing that was wrongfully put him into prison was working on your goddamn project. The thing that you've been obsessing over for many years. We were trying to let you know the fact that we were in love with one another, that we had married secretly from you, and we were trying to impress you, to make you happy. And so we were going along this path, doing exactly what it is that you're requiring for us to do now. And the whole while, you had a legal way for us to get in there. Do you have any idea how infuriating this is? We were trying to do this exact task for you long ago when... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I am married, and I'm not going to have any children, and that's how things settle. And he gets up with that, and he goes to walk out of the room.
I don't stop him this time.
We let him, yeah. Let him have his dramatic exit.
Yeah. He's
And-
earned it.
He walks out of the room, and the door shuts behind him. And she sits there completely stunned. Doesn't say anything. Do you guys allow silence to pass until she kind of snaps to
So
it?
how-
I think we give her a minute to comprehend.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be that long because they're Solarians.
Yep.
So
I mean, yeah, a minute is all they need, which is a lot for Solarians.
Do you
You
guys...
even just sat for a minute trying to actually consciously wait for a minute? It feels like forever.
Yeah. So
I don't have a
do you guys actually wait, or do you communicate with even each other?
I guess just wait.
I'll
Just
give
wait.
Carmen like a look, like
Yeah, I give you the look like, ah.
She eventually, so this is after like a solid like 20, 25 seconds, starts nodding slowly. Another 15 seconds later, she goes, I think I know who it is that he's referring to. He's an old assistant of mine. He was, in fact, arrested for breaking into an old temple. Starts tapping away on the computer, pulls out a data chip, and she hands it to you and says, he sacrificed enough. Here are the codes. I find you to go to prison as well. Well, at the very least, this is what... He deserves this. And just gives you the guys the codes for you to go and to where it is that you need to do. Where it is you need to
I
go.
will take. And I guess turn and leave.
Yeah, this is not our business.
When you...
we said to give him time to process too.
I will be having... The fact that these codes are being taken will not be known, at least not right away. I'm having sent to your ship right now a device. Icarus, if you please go ahead and set that up to your ship. It'll allow for large data transfers. It'll allow a direct link to my facility so I can continue parsing the data that you send over to me. We'll discover what it is that we can, so you don't necessarily have to waste the time coming all the way back here, because I imagine as soon as the facility is broken into and the investigation begins, I'll be arrested shortly thereafter.
Very well.
May the goddess be with you. And she kind of like slunks back into her chair. And once again, kind of like in silence, looking off into the distance.
Back to the ship.
Yeah, I think we just let her be.
As you guys are getting onto the ship itself, like the door's not even shut, you can already hear the engines whirring and starting up. Does somebody try the hand trick, Carmine?
Yes.
It is less awkward for you. And then you
Awesome.
The ship starts up, and literally, like the airlock door is closed. The water has drained out. The other one has already started up, and you can already feel the ship moving. Again, gravity works in such a way that you don't have to. It's just you feel this like strange sensation in your chest, as the ship is starting to flip over. You of course can't see it or anything. By the time you guys actually get back to the bridge, the command, wherever it is that you want to go, you're already more than halfway up the tube, heading back towards the surface. He's doing this, of course, without any commands or anything whatsoever. Does anybody say anything to him?
I just walk in there, and we're going to the Horsehead Nebula, right? That's where the planet is?
Horsehead Nebula and to the strenuous star system, correct.
I just ask him if he could take us there.
He doesn't say anything. You see him clicking away over at like the astrogating area, where it is that he's going to start plotting his course, and starts flying.
Before I leave, I will tell him, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. And your mother seems to have accepted it.
He doesn't say anything or do anything or whatever. About an hour passes. You guys get to the, and then and start traveling through space. With that, we're going to take our next break, and we'll see you all in about 5 minutes. This time, I'll make sure the timer is actually working before I walk away from my
Actual 5 minutes? Or
actual 5 minutes, I believe.
We'll see.
Wow.
We'll